Late night, luxury hospital. A young CEO, face pale as death, rushed on a gurney into the emergency room. She gripped a nurse's hand, whispering, "Wait, please, just make it fast. I don't want the pain." No doctor yet. Only a man in an old security jacket ran in. "What happened?" "Car crash," the nurse answered. He took off his jacket, covered her, voice calm and deep. "You'll be okay, I promise." As he held her hand, the lights revealed military medic numbers tattooed on his wrist. She saw them and froze. His name was Ethan Ward, 38 years old, single father, night shift security guard at St. Haven Hospital. Every night, the same routine. Clock in at 10, walk the halls, check the doors, make sure everyone's safe. His daughter Grace, 8 years old, third grade, would sit in the hospital cafeteria doing homework, drawing pictures of hearts and stars, waiting for Dad to finish his shift at 6 a.m. Most people didn't know Ethan's story. He used to be a combat medic, served 3 tours, saved more lives than he could count. But when his wife died in a car accident 5 years ago, everything changed. He left the military, took the security job, something quiet, something simple, something that let him be there for Grace. No one at the hospital knew. To them, he was just the guy who held doors, the guy who helped push wheelchairs, the guy who brought water to patients when the nurses were busy. He never asked for thanks, never needed it. One rainy Thursday night, around 11:30, the radio crackled. "Incoming trauma, car accident near Downtown Bridge, ETA 3 minutes. Ethan was near the ER entrance. He heard the ambulance sirens before he saw the lights. The doors burst open. Paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. A woman, mid-30s, designer clothes torn and bloody, face pale, breathing shallow. Female, major impact, possible internal bleeding. BP dropping fast. Ethan recognized her immediately. Everyone in the city would. Olivia Hart, CEO of Hart Tech Industries, youngest self-made billionaire in the state, known for being brilliant, ruthless, and ice-cold in business. The nurse looked panicked. "Dr. Reyes isn't here yet. He's stuck in traffic." No time. Ethan stepped forward. Years of training kicked in like muscle memory. "Let me help." The nurse hesitated. I know what I'm doing. Trust me." He moved to Olivia's side, checked her pulse, checked her breathing, started applying pressure to the bleeding on her arm. She opened her eyes slightly, confused, scared. "Please." Her voice barely a whisper. "Just make it fast. I don't want the pain." Ethan locked eyes with her, firm, calm, the way he used to talk to soldiers on the battlefield. "Not tonight, ma'am. You're going to see the sunrise." Something in his voice made her believe him. Her hand reached out, trembling. He took it, held it tight. "Stay with me. Focus on my voice. You're safe now." He worked quickly, stabilized her, kept her conscious, talked to her the whole time. "What's your name?" "Olivia." "Okay, Olivia. I'm Ethan. You were in an accident, but you're going to be fine. The doctor's on his way. Just keep breathing with me. In and out." When Dr. Reyes finally arrived 7 minutes later, Olivia was stable. The doctor looked at Ethan, then at the monitors, then back at Ethan. "You did this?" "Just kept her steady, Doc." "You saved her life." Ethan didn't respond. He just stepped back, let the medical team take over. As they wheeled Olivia towards surgery, she turned her head slightly, looking for him. Their eyes met one last time. She mouthed 2 words, "Thank you." He nodded, then disappeared back into the hallway shadows. Just another night shift. Just another life saved. Grace was waiting in the cafeteria, coloring a picture of a superhero. "Dad, look what I drew." Ethan smiled, ruffled her hair. "It's perfect, sweetheart. Let's go home." He never mentioned what happened. Heroes don't need headlines. Subscribe if you believe small acts can save big lives. The next morning, Olivia woke up in a private room on the hospital's top floor. Stitches on her arm, bandages wrapped around her ribs, head pounding, but alive. Sunlight poured through the window, just like he said. She remembered fragments, the crash, the pain, the voice, strong hands holding hers. You're going to see the sunrise. Who was that man? A nurse came in to check her vitals. Excuse me. Olivia's voice was hoarse. Last night, there was a man who helped me, before the doctor arrived. The nurse smiled. Oh, you mean Ethan? The security guard. Yeah, he was amazing. Kept you stable until Dr. Reyes got here. Security guard. Olivia's mind raced. She was saved by a security guard? Where is he now? Probably at home. His shift ended at 6. Later that morning, Olivia's assistant, Marcus, rushed in with her phone, tablet, and a worried expression. Ms. Hart, thank God you're okay. The board is asking questions. The media wants a statement. They know about the accident. Olivia sat up slowly, wincing. What are they saying? Just that you were in a single-car crash. They want to know if you were alone, if anyone else was involved, and Marcus hesitated. Some reporters are asking who saved you. Olivia looked out the window. Tell them the medical team handled everything professionally. Should we mention the security guard? I heard he... No, her voice was sharp. No names, no unnecessary attention. Marcus nodded and left, but something felt wrong. She couldn't explain it. Around noon, Ethan returned for his next shift. He was walking past her floor when a young nurse stopped him. Hey, Ethan, Ms. Hart was asking about you this morning. He paused. Is she okay? Yeah, she's fine. You should go say hi. She probably wants to thank you. Ethan shook his head. I'm sure she's busy. I've got rounds to do. But as he turned the corner, he saw her. Olivia was standing near the elevator, leaning on a crutch, talking to her assistant. Their eyes met. She looked surprised. Then, something else. Uncomfortable? Marcus whispered something to her. She nodded. Ethan started to walk away, but she called out, Wait, you're Ethan, right? He stopped, turned around. Yes, ma'am. She limped closer. Marcus stayed behind, watching. I wanted to thank you for last night. Just doing my job, ma'am. There was an awkward silence. Then Marcus stepped forward, speaking quietly but not quietly enough. Ms. Hart, the PR team said it's better if we don't create a narrative around this. You know how media twists things. Olivia hesitated. Then her face hardened. She looked at Ethan. I appreciate what you did, but I'd prefer if you kept last night between us. I don't need rumors or attention. I'm sure you understand. Ethan's expression didn't change. Wasn't planning to talk about it. Good. I don't like owing people. He looked at her for a long moment. Something in his eyes made her feel small. Then don't, ma'am. Just live better. He turned and walked away. Olivia stood there, frozen. That sentence hit harder than the crash. Marcus cleared his throat. Ms. Hart, your car's waiting. She didn't move, watching Ethan disappear down the hallway. Later that afternoon, a young nurse named Jenny found Ethan in the break room. That was cold, what she said to you. Ethan sipped his coffee. It's fine. It's not fine. You saved her life. She should have... Real help doesn't need headlines, Jenny. Jenny shook her head. You're too good for this place. Ethan smiled softly. Nah, this place is exactly where I need to be. That evening, as Ethan was about to leave, he saw Grace running toward him from the cafeteria. Dad, guess what? She crashed into his arms, breathless and excited. What, kiddo? My teacher said Ms. Hart's company donated a whole new computer lab to our school. Isn't that amazing? We get tablets and everything. Ethan looked up. Through the hospital's glass doors, he could see a black car pulling away. Olivia sat in the back seat, staring out the window. Their eyes met one last time. She looked away first. Grace tugged his sleeve. Dad, do you think she's a good person? Ethan watched the car disappear into traffic. I think she pays her debts differently. Grace tilted her head, confused. What does that mean? He picked her up. It means people show gratitude in their own way, sometimes with words, sometimes with actions. Sometimes they just need time to figure out which one matters more. Grace hugged his neck. I think words and actions both matter. Ethan smiled. You're smarter than most adults, you know that? As they walked to the parking lot, Ethan didn't look back. He didn't need to. He'd done his job. Saved a life. That was enough. But somewhere deep down, a small part of him wondered if she'd remember him when the bandages came off, or if he'd just be another face she forgot. 1 month later, St. Haven Hospital was hosting its annual charity gala. The main sponsor? Heart Foundation, Olivia's family charity organization. The event was massive. Politicians, doctors, wealthy donors, media everywhere. Ethan was assigned to security detail in the main hall. Standard protocol: check badges, watch the exits, stay invisible. He stood near the back wall in his uniform, watching the crowd mingle with champagne glasses and fake smiles. Then she walked in. Olivia Hart, wearing a midnight blue gown, confident, powerful, every inch the CEO the world knew. She didn't see him. Why would she? He was just part of the background. The event began, speeches about healthcare access, donations announced, applause echoing through the marble hall. When Olivia stepped onto the stage, the room erupted. She smiled, waved, began her speech. Tonight we celebrate the incredible work of a St. Haven Hospital, a place that saves lives every single day. Heart Foundation is proud to pledge $5 million toward expanding emergency care services. Ethan listened quietly, professional, detached. Then the lights flickered. Once, twice. The fire alarm blared. Confusion rippled through the crowd. People looked around nervously. A voice shouted from the left side of the hall, "Someone collapsed! We need help!" Panic started to spread. Ethan didn't hesitate. He moved through the crowd like water through cracks, fast, focused. An elderly man, maybe 70, was on the floor, face blue, not breathing. People were backing away. Someone screamed for a doctor. Ethan dropped to his knees, checked the airway. No pulse. His training kicked in. Automatic, muscle memory. He tilted the man's head back, started chest compressions. 30 pumps, 2 rescue breaths. Repeat. "Someone call 911, now." A security colleague radioed for help. Ethan kept going, compressions, breaths, compressions, breaths. 15 seconds, 30. 45, come on. Come on, the man gasped, coughed, eyes fluttered open. The crowd exhaled collectively. Ethan stayed calm. "Sir, stay still. Help is coming. You're okay now." The man gripped his hand. "Thank you." Paramedics rushed in moments later, took over, loaded the man onto a stretcher. Ethan stood up, brushing off his knees, ready to fade back into the shadows. But then he felt it. Eyes on him. He looked up. Olivia was standing at the edge of the stage, frozen, staring at him. She'd seen everything, the way he moved, the precision, the calm under pressure, the professional competence. This wasn't just a security guard. Her assistant Marcus leaned over, whispering urgently. She ignored him. She couldn't stop staring. After the event, Olivia went straight to the hospital's HR office. "I need the personnel file for Ethan Ward. Security staff." The HR manager hesitated. "Mrs. Hart, I'm not sure I can..." "Now." 5 minutes later, she was sitting in a conference room reading. Name: Ethan Ward. Age: 38. Position: night security guard. Previous employment: U.S. Army combat medic, 2009 to 2019. Decorations: Silver Cross for Valor, Purple Heart, Army Commendation Medal. Discharge: reason: honorable, family hardship. Olivia's hands trembled as she read further. Emergency contact: Grace Ward. Daughter. Age 8, there were photos attached. Ethan in uniform, younger, medals on his chest, eyes sharper, harder. She scrolled to a scanned newspaper clipping from 2017. Headline: Medic saves 23 soldiers during ambush. Awarded Silver Cross. The article detailed how Ethan had run through enemy fire multiple times to drag wounded soldiers to safety, how he'd performed field surgeries under impossible conditions, how he'd refused to leave until every single person was evacuated. Olivia put her hand over her mouth. This man, this hero, was working night shifts as a security guard, and she told him to stay quiet. to stay invisible. She closed the file, sat in silence. Then she made a decision. The next day, Olivia called a press conference. Unannounced, unplanned. Her PR team was frantic. "Mr. Hart, what's this about? We didn't prepare talking points." "I don't need talking points." The conference room filled with journalists, cameras, microphones. Olivia walked to the podium. No notes, no script. She took a breath. "Last month I was in a car accident. I nearly died." The room went silent. The person who saved my life wasn't a surgeon, wasn't a paramedic, wasn't someone with a fancy title. She paused. It was a father, a single dad, working the night shift as a hospital security guard. Whispers spread through the room. "His name is Ethan Ward, and I need to tell you who he really is." At that exact moment, Ethan was in the hospital cafeteria with Grace, helping her with math homework. His phone buzzed. A coworker's text. "Dude, turn on the TV, now." Confused, Ethan looked up at the cafeteria television. His face went pale. There was Olivia, on every news channel, talking about him. Ethan Ward is a decorated combat medic. He served 3 tours, saved dozens of lives under fire, earned the Silver Cross for valor. The camera flashed to his military photo on the screen. Grace gasped. "Dad, that's you." Ethan couldn't move. Olivia continued, her voice cracking slightly. "When I asked him to stay quiet about saving me, I didn't know. I didn't know who he was, what he'd sacrificed, what he'd given." She looked directly into the camera. "Ethan Ward, if you're watching, please stand up." Ethan's coworkers were staring at him. Other people in the cafeteria turned around. He shook his head. I don't need this." But Grace tugged his sleeve. "Dad, she's trying to say thank you." On the screen, Olivia's eyes were wet. "He reminded me that leadership isn't about power. It's not about control. It's about service. It's about showing up when no one's watching. It's about doing the right thing, even when there's no reward." The press conference room erupted in applause. Olivia wiped her eyes. "Ethan Ward is the kind of person this world needs more of, and I was too blind to see it." She stepped back from the podium. The cameras kept flashing. In the cafeteria, Ethan sat frozen. People were clapping. Someone patted his shoulder. Grace hugged him tight. "Dad, you're famous." He looked down at his daughter, then back at the screen. Olivia was leaving the podium, but she paused, looked at the camera one more time, and mouthed 2 words. "I'm sorry." Ethan exhaled slowly. Maybe some wounds do heal. Maybe some people do learn. Maybe heroes don't always need headlines. But sometimes the world needs to see them anyway. After the press conference, everything changed. Ethan received calls, interview requests, job offers from private security firms offering triple his salary. He declined them all. But one offer he couldn't refuse. Hart Foundation invited him to become their safety and medical preparedness advisor. Part-time, flexible hours, good pay, and most importantly, he could still be there for Grace. 3 days later, Olivia came to the hospital herself. She found him in the security office filling out paperwork. She knocked softly. He looked up. "Ms. Hart?" "Olivia, please, just..." "Olivia." He nodded. "Olivia." She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "I wanted to apologize. Properly, not on camera, not for the press, just to you." Ethan leaned back in his chair. "You already did that publicly. That was for the world. This is for you." She sat down across from him. "I was wrong about you. Completely wrong." "No, ma'am, you just didn't see clearly. Why didn't you tell me that you were a medic, that you were a hero?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Heroes are the ones who don't come home. I'm just a guy who got lucky." Olivia's throat tightened. "That's not true." "It's true enough." Silence settled between them, comfortable, honest. Finally, Olivia spoke again. "The advisor position. Will you take it?" "Grace needs stability. If this helps with that, yeah, I'll take it." Olivia smiled. "Good, because we need you." Over the next few weeks, Ethan and Olivia worked together often. planning emergency protocols, training staff, reviewing safety systems. They talked, really talked. She learned about his wife, the accident, how he blamed himself for not being there. He learned about her father, the pressure, how she built walls to survive in a ruthless world. One afternoon, Olivia was at the hospital's community park, reviewing site plans for a new clinic. She heard laughter, looked up. Grace was on the swings, playing with another child who'd scraped her knee. Grace pulled a small bandage from her pocket, carefully applying it like a tiny professional. "There, all better." Olivia walked over smiling. "You're a little medic too, huh?" Grace looked up, eyes bright. "Dad says helping people is our family business." Olivia laughed, a real laugh, the kind she hadn't felt in years. "Your dad's right." Grace tilted her head. "Are you the lady from TV, the one my dad saved?" "Yes, I am." "Good. He needed someone to save. He gets sad sometimes when he's not helping people." Olivia's heart broke a little. This child understood her father better than most adults understood themselves. She reached into her bag, pulled out a small silver bracelet. "I brought this for you." Grace's eyes widened. The bracelet had an engraving. "Be brave, little healer." "For me?" "For you, because I think you're going to save a lot of people someday, just like your dad." Grace hugged her. Sudden, tight, pure. Olivia froze for a moment, then hugged her back. That evening, Ethan found an envelope slipped under his office door. Inside, a handwritten letter. "Ethan, you saved me twice. Once from death, once from myself. I don't know how to repay that. Maybe I never can, but I'm trying to be better. Because of you, thank you for seeing me, even when I couldn't see you." Olivia Ethan read it slowly, folded it carefully, put it in his pocket. He looked out the window at the city lights flickering in the distance. Some people come into your life like storms, others like sunrise. He wasn't sure which one she was yet, but he was willing to find out. 1 year later, the morning arrived cold but clear. Heart Foundation was opening the Ward Center for Community Healing in the heart of the city, a medical facility offering free healthcare, mental health services, and veteran support programs. Everything Ethan had dreamed of but never thought possible. The grand opening drew hundreds. News cameras lined the street, families gathered on the lawn. Veterans stood together in silence, some with tears streaming down their weathered faces. Olivia stood at the podium wearing a simple gray suit, no designer labels, no corporate armor, just her. "A year ago, I almost died," she began. "The man who saved me wasn't a surgeon. He wasn't famous. He was just good." She looked to the side. "Ethan Ward, please come up here." Ethan stood into the back, shaking his head slightly. Grace pushed him forward. "Dad, go. They need to hear you." He walked slowly to the microphone, visibly uncomfortable with the attention. "I'm not used to microphones," he said quietly. "I'm better with heartbeats." The crowd chuckled softly. "But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that healing isn't just for the wounded. It's for everyone who still cares enough to treat them." He looked directly at Olivia. "We all carry pain, scars, regrets. The question is, what do we do with it? Do we build walls to hide behind? Or do we build bridges to reach others?" Grace stood in the front row, clutching the silver bracelet Olivia had given her months ago. "I chose bridges," Ethan said firmly, "and I hope you will too." The applause started slow, then built into something powerful. Grace ran onto the stage, holding up a